if it's your first business and you're not 100% sure you can handle it, take a partner.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. This is another episode of Another Day in Paradise. And,
Yo.
As usual, I'm with Reda, and we, to be quite honest, we wanted to talk about a topic today. You finally could manage to squeeze some time, but I was gonna do it alone, and I thought, what can I speak about alone? That would be actually a good theme. And I was gonna speak about the fact of being alone.
Yeah. And it's actually such a good theme that
He said, all right,
it
let
got
me
me back.
move some things around
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll be here. So being alone is actually a strength.
Man, it's one of the
It's a
keys of
powerful skill, right?
One of the keys of life, definitely.
Yeah. So I know many times we were talking about how we, you and I, we kind of both enjoy being alone. It's not something that bothers us. And I think we, without being a little bit, without being too, not modest, but we mastered that skill of being alone.
Well, we can say that in a way where I think I can only speak for myself and you a bit less since you're a dad.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, a big part of our lives we spend alone.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, no, definitely.
No, I'm just checking if everything is okay, but it seems okay. Yeah, I think so to get this theme started, first of all, being alone doesn't mean like being physically alone. Just
Yes.
like removed from people. You could be alone in your room and in the next room could be like your parents, your brothers, your sister, whatever. But spending time alone is for example, we were talking and laughing about it, but we said how sometimes you have to drive to like long distances, you especially to Marrakesh because you have family there, etc. And
Yeah.
and the ride is like maybe 4 hours.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, more or less 4 hours. And sometimes people say, "Oh, you're gonna go alone? Oh, well, ask your
This guy
cousin.
to
Maybe
come
he
with
can
you
go
and
with you.
stuff,
Maybe
yeah.
if you wait tomorrow, I can come with you." No, man. Actually, that would be a horrible idea. Actually,
Yeah.
very comfortable going
More
alone.
often than none, in those situations, you rather be alone.
Yeah, that's true. And so the car is a perfect example of enjoying being alone.
Mhm.
I actually really enjoy driving in my car alone. It gives me the opportunity to listen to some podcasts. It gives me opportunity to listen to the kind of music that I really enjoy, to listen to them loudly, and I can select a song, and then 2 seconds later I can think about another song, and then no, let me switch to this one. When you are with somebody else, you need to entertain them.
You need to entertain them. You need to accommodate them. And I think the biggest part, because we're talking about being alone, but there's people that are alone by choice. Other, unfortunately, for I don't know what reasons, they end up alone. And basically, being alone is being able to entertain yourself.
True.
And like in a drive, me personally, when I drive alone, I have the opportunity to think about a lot of things.
True.
To entertain, to even do like stupid stuff, like sing out loud,
Yeah,
all that stuff.
yeah.
Like, and it's quite liberating. And it's true that a lot of times some people come and like, I see in my friends, especially here in Morocco, they're always like, "Oh, you're gonna do this alone? Bring this guy with you," or "Oh, you're gonna do it alone? Shit!" And like, no, it's actually better. For
Actually,
me.
okay, doing it
You know?
alone. Yeah, it's and we were talking with one of your cousins, and he said, "Oh, like I thank you guys for being here, so I don't have to eat alone." I'm like, I eat alone quite
Yeah.
often, actually. I don't
Yeah.
mind eating alone. So going to a restaurant and eating alone is, of course, company is also great. Like,
Of
we are not
course.
saying like, oh, you need to isolate yourself, everybody else is dragging you down. That's not it at all. It's just that you also need to sometimes do things alone, including eating at restaurants alone.
Yeah, because first of all, when you eat alone, you're focused on the food.
Yeah,
You know what
you're
I mean?
focused on
And,
yourself.
and,
yeah.
and like the experience is very different.
yeah.
And but I think the biggest point of spending time alone, especially by choice, is that ability to really entertain yourself.
Yeah.
That means that like, this day or whatever, I'm not gonna stand and spend all afternoon trying to find someone to see or anything like
Yeah.
that. I'm very comfortable with being alone.
True. True.
And
But do you think people look at you weird when you eat alone in a restaurant? Because most of the times when I go eat alone, which is quite often, but I mean, not every day, but sometimes it happens to me and I never hesitate. I'm never like, oh, I want to go eat outside, but I'm alone, so maybe I should just order
Yeah.
food in. No, I'll just go to my restaurant and I'll just, hey, sit down. But most of the times the waiter says, table for two, you waiting for somebody? No, just me.
Not just
Oh,
me.
okay.
But you know what's the beauty of it? It's that I think people probably think it's weird, like a waiter. Oh, this guy is lonely or whatever.
Yeah, or he expects somebody else to
But
join
if
you.
you're comfortable enough to go eat alone, usually you don't care.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's not even a
Absolutely.
question that pops in your head of
Yeah.
what would people
And
think.
to be honest, even the waiter doesn't care either. Like
Yeah.
he's just asking you, like, should he bring another sets of knives and whatever. So he doesn't really care about that. But are we really alone? Because most of the times I think about it when I go to a restaurant. I
You're
use
on
my
your phone.
phone.
Yeah.
So, but I don't text people or call people. I just, entertain myself.
Mhm.
So pretty much like when I'm in my car, I listen to my podcast. When I go eat alone, I have like headphones, and I just listen to my things. And I hate when the waiter comes to say, "Is everything okay?" Because I have to what? Everything okay? Yeah, man, everything is okay. Just leave me alone. Like
But that's
I'm
the
okay.
thing. When you're conditioned to being alone, like in that moment, usually you entertain yourself, but you're, I don't know, watching videos on YouTube or stuff. Me, I get bothered when people talk to me even by text when I'm in that mood. Like when I'm on a YouTube, like watching a YouTube video or I'm alone or whatever. I don't want no one to call me. I don't want even those text notifications and everything.
Yeah.
Like it's me time. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, but only like I don't mind text so much as I mind phone calls. I feel like
Of
phone
course.
calls are very intrusive. Like, how dare you call me? Like, just text me, and I have the option to answer whenever I want. But when you call me, you want me to answer right now. So
Yeah.
I much prefer like text because they are much less intrusive, in my opinion.
Definitely.
But yeah, so for people who know me, like just text me, and I will. I'm usually pretty good with text. I will answer right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I'm talking to somebody, I don't. You can just text me, and I will get back to you 2 minutes later. But if you call me, chances are I might not be able to answer right now, and a call back is gonna take a while for me to to give. So just text me. Sometimes people call me, and I can't answer, and I write back, "What's up? Hey, what's going on? I'm doing something, or I'm working or whatever. What's up?" And they say, "Can I call you, dude? What's up? Tell me. Just
what's
be
up."
straight up." But anyways,
And usually it comes with like 3 or 4 questions.
Yeah.
Like they're calling you, but you're the one that needs to give information.
absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. But yeah, phones is definitely a window that allow you to, not be alone. But is it? Does it happen to you that you are alone doing nothing? No
Well,
phone, no TV, no music, just
It
alone.
happened to me a few times, like especially like you said, I often go to Marrakesh where my parents used to live, and we often had internet issues.
Okay.
So it wasn't by choice at the beginning, but it was like this issue that was recurrent. Like I knew from this time to this time, no internet, like every day.
Yeah.
And the first time, like, it's something that you don't have a say in. But when I got like used to it, I started really enjoying it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like on that time I really entertain myself in a non-digital way, like 100%. So I
Yeah.
go, I
That's
take my dog for a walk. I started doing how do you call that?
yoga.
Archery.
Okay.
For instance, which
That's
is
nice.
super cool. And alone once again.
Yeah.
You know, like you find like small things to do. You start mm, liking to use your hands more.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
doing manual things. Absolutely.
and then
Absolutely.
once you kind of get in that lifestyle, it's very hard to get out. Like we had that with COVID, the lockdown and everything. I spent almost 4 months, like almost half the year, at my parents' place. And with my parents, we're quite an individual family. We don't spend that much time together. Like we can be sitting in a living room together, but my mom is doing something, my dad is watching
Yeah.
his show, whatever. Like it's not like let's do something together every time.
Yeah, yeah.
And the post lockdown was very very hard to readjust. Like
Mm.
any encounter that that had maybe more than 4 or 5 people started making me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking to you about the medical side of
Yeah,
oh
no. It's
like
not like
it's really
agoraphobic. Yeah.
social.
Yeah.
And that was quite particular.
That's true. Like COVID, like I was always teasing my wife, and when they, we got locked down here in Morocco, and then they said, so as everybody, I guess, so it's like 2 weeks, and then okay, maybe a month and a half, maybe etc. etc. They kept extending it, and every time they extended it, my wife was like, "Oh my God, when are we gonna go out?" I'm like, "Hey, we are doing great." I know. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Listen, we are both working. We are getting paid. We have food.
Yeah.
It's quiet outside. It's clean. Animals are coming back to the city. The waters are clearing up. The air is clearing up in LA,
Yeah.
etc. Like, what is not to like about it? Honestly, I could do this for the rest
Well,
of my life.
basically, it's the difference between the opinions on that matter is just the fact of being able or not to spend time alone. Of course, some people are in a very difficult
Absolutely.
environment. Like when you're in a very small apartment, no windows, and you
True,
live
true.
with 10 people.
Absolutely.
You can love
Each other very much.
each
It's
other
still
as
not
much
gonna
as you want.
fly.
It's not gonna fly. But to be honest, you tell me, let's go back to a 2 month lockdown. I tell you where do I side.
That's
you know?
actually perfect for me. Yeah, but again,
But
like,
I'm lucky
we were
enough
in good conditions.
to work
home.
from home,
True.
etc. But
True.
it's I kind of miss that forced that thing that forced everyone. Like I saw my friends, like I saw people discovering new passions and things like that. Like it was it had it was beautiful in
True.
its own way.
True. Yeah, with
And,
my wife, we started cooking.
Exactly.
It's like
You're
listen,
taking time to do things.
it was cool, and you go back to basic entertainment, which is like, oh, let's grab some things and let's cook tonight. And I was looking forward to cooking a cake, and
Exactly.
yeah, it was just a lot of fun. But again, it depends on the condition you were locked down. And we were lucky enough to have like it was a lockdown, but we could still have access to food, Netflix, internet,
Yeah.
chat with people, etc. And honestly, it was great. But that's one of the dangers of getting used to being alone, which is like you isolate yourself, you become addicted to it because
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
highly
superpower if you know how to balance it.
Of course.
You become antisocial, which is bad. And I know so many friends, and I was kind of like that, not really shy, but when for example, I meet you and you say, "Oh, I'm actually, so what are you doing? I'm having a coffee with my friends. You should join us." Like the very, very old or very young Jawad would say, "Call me when you're done." But now I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll come." And then it's an opportunity to meet different people, new people. But when you are so used to being alone, you have a very small circle of friends that you allow in. And if by any chance they say, okay, I'm with my cousin, come over. No. You cannot let anybody else in.
Yeah.
It's like the boat is full. We cannot, but you have to open to other people. And you also have to balance it with being alone.
Yeah,
and,
but
and,
it's very interesting what you just said.
thank you.
In a way where me personally, I became. You saw to take back the example that you just said about people calling you and should
Yeah.
I join a crew that we don't know, etc., etc. I would have been the kind of guy that would say, yeah, you know what, call me later, any day. But like for instance, us the way we met, You invited me a couple of times to your
Yeah,
place.
that's true. That's
With,
true. He
with
was. You were so shy. You were like just sitting there
yeah,
doing nothing. I'm like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
but no, no.
Very courageous of you to
I
come.
wasn't shy in a way. That's my usual approach
Okay.
in life. Like I wasn't especially shy,
Yeah.
but I think that the more comfortable you start getting of being alone, the more comfortable you get with yourself,
True.
and then the easier you can actually get out of your circle because you have kind of like that self-sufficiency where you don't need to prove or get anything from
Absolutely.
anybody, so you're way
Yeah.
less like I guess it's linked to confidence in a way. It
That's true.
builds up your confidence and things like that.
You know, when it comes back to running,
Mm.
when I run, and I ask many of my friends or people I meet who are also passionate about running, and I ask them this question: is it's not how many miles do you run, how many kilometers, or how long, etc. Is do you use headphones? Do you use music when you run? Do you use music when you go to any gym? Everybody will have headphones. Nobody would, because it's also like a kind of like an antisocial thing to have like headphones in a public space who are surrounded by people. It's like, don't bother me.
Yeah.
I'm doing my thing. And when you run, I really enjoy running because, and many people are like, yeah, well, running, it's not that much fun. Why don't you play like a team sport? It's more fun. You talk to people. Yes, they are also fun, but in running,
It's
you
like
allow
driving
yourself-
alone. In a
sorry,
way.
you allow yourself to have a conversation with yourself.
Definitely.
So, and it's a much needed conversation.
Yeah, more often than none, definitely.
And it's sometimes some people are scared to be alone because they will start thinking.
Yeah.
So they need something on, like a TV, music, a show, even in the background, even if they are alone in their apartment. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure I'm not one of these guys. I know somebody very, very close to me who is always with something in his background, like music. Like when he goes, even when they sleep,
yeah.
they need something to stay on
TV
all night, all night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the sleep thing, honestly, I'm a little guilty of it. I don't keep it all night. I have a timer, so usually 30 minutes by the time I fall asleep. But I cannot fall asleep
Without
from dead silence
yes.
to sleep, which is a skill that I'm trying to master. That's my resolution, for one of my resolutions, to try to better myself for next year. But alone, silence is a little bit, could be scary, could be intimidating a little bit.
Well, I guess it depends on your situation
Yeah,
in life.
yeah.
Like you said, silence, being alone, things like that kind of forces you to have those conversations. or-
yeah,
with
to
yourself.
think about things. Yeah,
And some of them are uncomfortable.
true.
Like
You cannot lie to yourself.
because whoa.
No, that's, I just moved the microphone. Don't worry about
Okay.
it. I got you.
Some of them are uncomfortable. Usually when you need to do some sort of introspection,
Yeah, soul
things like
searching.
that, soul searching. That's usually the times where when you think of a conflict or something,
Yeah,
where you start off
sure.
looking the other side, like did
Yeah.
I
Did
maybe-
I behave the right way? I shouldn't have said that. And,
like it's like the shower. Like a lot of people think in their showers,
Yeah.
and things like that. It's kind of like the same thing.
introspections are very important. I do a lot of them, and honestly, I don't mean to brag, but I think it really helps me become a better person.
Definitely.
Like reevaluating your choices, your decisions, and the way you approach different things. And I think you need time alone to do that. You cannot be in the middle of a conversation and think retrospectively. Oh,
Yeah.
we're not gonna do this
come on.
again.
That
All
was
right.
nice. Retrospectively.
Retrospectively,
Word of the day.
about things. You need silence, you need quiet, you need focus, and you need those few moments alone
And you
where
need
you
to take the
retrospect.
time because
True.
it's not something that I have 5 minutes. Let me introspect.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And
So how about business? Because I know in business, again, a close friend of mine who was gonna start a business, open a pizza place, and I told him, listen, you don't need anybody. You have the money, you have the skill. You've been working pizza place you have a great opportunity in front of you. Just do it. He said, no, I want to bring this guy in. He's a good friend, and it will keep me company. Exactly. You just need company. You don't buy,
Mhm.
you don't have a partner just to keep company. He needs to add value to the business, not to you. Otherwise, do your business and go have a drink with him later. Like you don't need him. So many people get into like a joint venture just because they need company. They want to do business with their friends. No, I
Mm.
don't want to do business with my friend. If my friend has a skill that would be beneficial to the business, yes. But if he's just in just because he's my friend, I think it's gonna fail. Why are you smiling? Is this
No,
something
because
that's
this is a funny thing because I had this discussion quite recently with people. I would tell you this: if it's your first business and you're not 100% sure you can handle it, take a partner.
I don't
And
know about that.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I don't know about that.
Because when you start your own business, especially when it's a small business, um, basically, basically, basically,
It's okay. We'll keep it.
the company's morale
Yeah,
is your morale. That means that when you
that's
lack
true.
motivation, the company lacks
It's
motivation,
sinking. Yeah.
and you're not accountable to anyone else but yourself. And sometimes it's easier, like to, to let to just give up.
Hmm.
And when you have a partner, and you kind of like be like, if I'm not pulling my weight, I'm actually not just penalizing myself, but I'm penalizing my partner.
True.
So if you're not sure to have that strength and discipline with yourself, I think that for a second, third business, once you have quite some experience,
Yeah.
it's easier. But as a first business, I usually people that
I
talk to
agree.
me, I would suggest they take a
I see
partner.
that. Honestly, I see that, especially being an entrepreneur is people say, "Oh, I am my own boss." But be careful what you wish for. Being your own boss is very difficult because
Mm,
nobody will tell you why did you come to work at 10 o'clock.
yeah.
Nobody's gonna say, "Why are you late? Why didn't you call this client? Why didn't you respond to this client?" So
Exactly.
you have to have some very, very, very
And
deep
it actually
motivation,
it goes
etc.
both ways because sometimes you're a bit soft on yourself. Like nobody tells you, "Oh, why did you wake up at 11 this morning or whatever?"
Yeah,
But it goes as actually the same way. Nobody tells you, maybe it's time you take a break. Maybe
that's
it's
true.
time, like let this go.
But my theory in terms of business is that, and that's what I usually do, is that I will start my business, and I find that people usually will give you advice.
Mm,
I almost want to say for free. Like people will be giving you even when you don't ask for advice. So
definitely.
so then you compute those
Hmm.
advice and you decide if you want to take them or not, or if you want to modify them or not, etc., etc. So you don't need him to be a partner for him to give you his advice. He will give you, or people around you will give you advice no matter what. So
No, definitely. And bro, today we have YouTube. We have a bunch of sources that will give you
and
that. Mhm.
rich people
Yeah.
buy expensive cars. And expensive cars are usually not station wagons. Usually,
Hmm.
their sports cars only have two-seaters because being successful
You don't
is
have time to bring people with you.
no, because being successful is most of the times being alone.
Yes.
You have to spend time alone if you want to be successful. You like the top of the pyramid has less people than the bottom. Yes, it's
Yes.
fun to be with friends, etc. But after a while,
No,
you need to tell your friends, "Listen, I
this
need
is
to
a
go."
very valid point because what people really underestimate, and I'm talking about every level, whether it's like high level or even a small business, there is a big part of sacrifice. And very often, like when you work, you have like, oh, we have this party, we have this, let's go watch this movie. You have this, and very often you have to say, no,
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Like what I'm gaining from going there compared to what I can produce or whatever. So you're always, when you're an entrepreneur or have your own business, you kind of never disconnect and you always need to balance
True.
the things. Sometimes it's good. You're actually going to get better stuff by going watching a movie than staying stuck in your problem.
Of course. Yeah.
But it's always like you need to learn that balance. And you know that there's that saying where they say they call us dreamers, but we're the ones that never sleep.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
kind of like that
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
entrepreneurial journey.
And you work a lot at night. And
Yeah.
at night, usually you are very isolated. Like it's quiet in the
Yeah.
house, quiet outside. do you enjoy this atmosphere with like less
Definitely.
movements, I
There's
guess?
two things. Me personally, like anyone that kind of like sees my life rhythm would
Mm,
tell me like you're crazy. It's not good for your health. Whatever. But me personally, I like to take the distractions out first.
mm,
So if I need to have to be social, I try to be a bit social every day when I can afford it. Except when it's really like a period of time where you need to work. But usually I try to give myself like a couple of hours, 3 hours in a day where I can socialize, help my mom do something, whatever she wants
mm,
to do. And since I work at night and sleep a big portion of the day. Usually, if I need to do something, I need to do it early because then the stores close
mm.
and etc.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I take out the distraction usually at the beginning of the day because afterwards I have like 6, 7, 8 straight hours of work with
Hustling. Yeah.
zero distractions. And I really think that like the consistency, having a period of time where you don't have any distractions, it let's say for instance you did design, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm making a website, for instance, if I work 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, out of those 2 hours, I have maybe 45 minutes of every slot
Mm.
that I just take to get back in the game.
That's true. That's true.
And
Go
like
back in
it's
the
like
flow.
if
Yeah.
you do it like 3 times in 6 hours, that
You
means
lose
that
a
you
lot
have
of time.
like
Yeah.
3 times 45 minutes. So it's
Yeah.
like 2 hours and 15 minutes
Yeah.
that comes out of those
Wasted. Yeah.
6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not as efficient. So that's also the can be applied to
Beneficial
life
for sure.
where when you don't have those breaks, like those distractions, like whatever you do, even if you're watching a movie, if
True.
every 2 seconds your wife comes in and tells you, "Hey, sorry, you put
Yeah. You
pause.
pause it
Oh
and then
fuck, what
yeah.
happened? I need to go back a couple of minutes,
Yeah, that's true.
etc." It's the same thing.
No, it kicks you out of the flow, and I
Mm.
think that's the thing. Usually, when I work, I like to isolate myself, of course, but also like when I'm in my flow, when I'm like in a good rhythm, and I cannot stop, even when I'm tired or whatever, because I need to finish this part. Otherwise, it will take a while for me to get back inside, etc. And but yeah, and we also mentioned
Mm.
being alone in relationships, like love relationships. I know in
Yes.
friendships it's like important because like of course some people, and I almost want to say we've all been there.
Mm.
We've all seen people like that, and to be honest, I've been there also where I'm like hanging out with people. One day, I was young,
Mm.
and my brother told me about this guy. He was telling me about one of his friend who was like amazing at playing guitar, and he said this guy was so cool at playing guitar
Mhm.
that in his school he would never like come to a group and say, "Hey, what's up, guys? So what are we talking about? Oh yeah, cool. Oh yeah." He would just be alone, and people will come
Yeah.
and want to reach out to him and want to meet with him and talk to him, etc. And I'm like, wow, I want to be so cool that people will come to me. The problem is, it had the other effect. I didn't really make the effort to like include myself in conversations in groups of friends, etc.
Mhm.
And I realized I was very, very lonely. I was friendly with everybody, but I was not the
You
guy who
was
was in,
okay. You were like friends with everyone, but not
but not with
close.
anyone in special. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I ended up being very, very isolated.
So you had quality over quantity over quality.
Well, yeah, I had one or two close friends, and
Mhm.
we ended up like drifting away from everybody else, being friendly again with everybody, but like alone most of the times. And then the danger is that you get used to it, and then it's hard to get back inside those
Mm.
groups, etc., etc. I was friendly with everybody, but yeah, and then friendship is another topic that we should have a whole different podcast about. But
Definitely.
anyways, so I wanted to be like so cool that I didn't need to go out and reach out to people and be friends with them, which was the wrong move, I think. You need to be social and you need to master the art of being alone because it is an art.
Well, at the end, it's always about finding like
The balance.
The balance. It's
Yeah,
always
true,
about balance,
true,
whatever you
true.
do. But to come back to what you were saying in relationships, like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband,
Yeah,
wife,
yeah,
etc.,
yeah,
etc.
of course.
Within a relationship, I think it's very important to be able to spend time alone even if it's together. You know what I mean?
But also looking for a relationship. Some people just go
Yeah.
inside a relationship just because they don't want to be alone, or sometimes even worse. I don't I don't want to be,
Ooh.
but sometimes
Buckle up.
you are with somebody and you stay with that somebody, and it's not going bad, but it's just not going anywhere.
It's not good enough.
It's not gonna go to the next step.
So what? You
Like
stay
you're
with
just
that person until you fight better?
no,
Or
it's
what?
just you stay with that person because you're lazy, because you don't want the confrontation, because you don't want to be alone. And you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, but like, and you see your friends who are single, and they say, ah, man, it's rough out there. Ah, well, let's go out and try to hit on some chicks. Oh, well, you don't care, right? You already have a girlfriend. Yeah, but so I'm like, hey, do I want to go hunting again, or do I want to just settle in?
Yeah.
And
There is convenience in
there
that.
is convenience.
I understand
Yeah.
it, but
And also, that's okay. And also hanging out with the wrong crowd of friends just because you don't want to be alone. Listen, being lonely is better than bad company.
definitely,
Always. Never hesitate. If you are with the wrong crowd, never hesitate. Alone is much better. Learn to master the skill of being alone, and you will have the power to
And
choose who
enjoy
you want to
it.
hang out
You
with.
need to enjoy it.
Of course.
Like
Do
and it's
things that
very,
you
it's
like.
very enjoyable.
Very enjoyable after a while. And also, like, you are prepared to be like, yeah, this group of people is cool, but yeah, I don't really dig them. They do stupid things, or I'm not into the things they are into. Let me just move on from this group. And you can always fall back on being alone and enjoy it. So you don't have the pressure of like, oh my God, I'm just, they want to do something crazy, especially when you are very young. They want to steal a car or whatever, do something stupid. And you're like, yeah, but if not, what? I'm going to go home. And like, I spent New
Peer
Year's Eve
pressure.
alone. I spent. I remember one day I was in the US, and I really wanted to go skiing, and I was telling my brother, let's go. And at the last minute he said, no, I can't. I'm not gonna go. I don't feel like it. It's far. Blah blah blah. It's cold. I prefer to stay at home. And that day I said, you know what? All right, that's cool. I'm
gonna go
going.
skiing alone.
And he said, come on, you're not gonna go ski alone. And I went, and it was so cool.
Man, it's
It was so
amazing.
cool. It was
and
so
you
cool.
actually enjoy doing it. One of the things that comes, I think, one of the best perks of being alone is that develops passion in you. Like
Definitely.
you can take time, and a passion, man, gives you so much
For sure.
lessons of life in general. You know how to take time to actually like put time to learn something, to actually like, you know, like not get an instant reward. Usually
Sure.
in passions, like you need to put in a lot of effort before getting a reward, and that's something that comes only if you like dedicate time to you. You know,
True.
like
True.
and for me, I think the worst nightmare is not having a moments of peace in a day where I'm
True.
like alone with myself.
But also, like, when you, for example, when you join a gym,
Mm-hmm.
usually you're like, let me join a gym with my friend. Hey, we go all together. We will have a rhythm, and you can motivate each other, etc., etc. Wrong idea.
Yeah,
Wrong.
Because
Because
you
the
did-
day he will
you-
say,
you
"Oh, I
create
don't feel like
dependence.
going,"
yeah,
you will not go. When we play soccer, we enjoy playing with each other. But when I'm not here, you still go. When you're not there, I still go, because
True.
you cannot build, like you said, a dependence and of like, oh, I'm only doing it because I was having fun. Your phone is going off the hook, man.
What the hell is going on?
So it's like you have to learn how to enjoy things with people, but also how to enjoy things alone and not be dependent on them.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like so many times I got a membership in the gym, and then the day they say, yeah, I don't feel like it, you 9 times out of 10 you're like, all right, so we'll go tomorrow, right? Yeah, we'll go tomorrow. He already gave up, and he's making you give up. That day you should say, oh, you don't want to go today? That's fine, I will go. But tomorrow, are you going tomorrow? It doesn't matter, because I'm going.
going.
I'm following
Exactly.
the plan. And you will maybe pick him up and motivate him to start coming
Yeah.
back again. So you have to keep doing your things.
And
Do your
there's-
things independently.
There's so much that comes from, like, when you master being alone, like in a very positive way.
Yeah.
There's another superpower that gets unlocked, just like in a video game. It's that you become so self-sufficient in a way that you also learn another superpower, which is saying no.
Oh, this is another topic
Like
altogether.
it's all good. I'm good.
Yeah,
Do you want to do this? No,
that's fine.
and I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
You're not gonna call me next time.
yeah,
All good.
yeah.
You know, like
Like I said, you can always fall back on yourself.
exactly.
You can always fall back. Okay, you don't want
What's the
to.
worst that could happen?
Nothing. You will just do it alone, and you will have fun. So try
Yeah.
doing things alone. Honestly, if I have one piece of advice to give people, do things alone. Like
Yeah.
yes, it's fun to do that with people. Go for a run alone. Go for a bike ride alone.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the supermarkets alone. Go to the restaurants alone. Do activities alone. Enjoy to appreciate, and of course. We are never really alone. Like we are not isolated
we're
in an
not
island.
saying-
We
yeah.
are surrounded by people. You listen to the music you like. You listen to the podcast you like. You sing in your car. Like it's a lot of fun to be alone.
And for all the people that have real trouble of being alone themselves, give yourself a chance.
Yeah,
Chances are you're a really cool guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe you're not, but hey, you'll find some other people who are not cool just like you, and maybe you will be with them.
Yeah.
I used to teach this woman who was very very much alone, and she used to tell me. I'm so happy. I'm finally, our weekly meeting is like a fresh breath, like a breath of fresh air, etc. And I really enjoy it. I spend all my week. I said, listen, she lives in Paris. I said, how dare you feel alone in Paris? Like you have so people fly and spend so much money from all over the world to go to this city. You have so many things to do. Yeah, but I don't want to do them alone.
Yeah.
Fuck people. Just go out.
Learn to
Go
do
to
them
the
alone.
museums. Like go to enjoy this magic city of Paris. Like go. And then of course you have many clubs like chess club, book reading clubs, blah, 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 that you can join. And you will, yeah, but I don't want to do it alone. That's the point. You will meet people there. But if you don't do the first step, you will never meet people. And yeah, like it's
And just
to finish up because the camera is gonna
like
shut down.
it's important to take time for yourself because it puts you in the right position to give your time to others as well. So we're not saying like close yourself in a closet or anything, but
Sure not. Yeah.
like put your mask on before starting to
True, to help other people.
And it's the same
Absolutely.
thing with time. Like take time for yourself,
Yeah.
be good
Yeah.
with yourself, and
And people will appreciate you because you will discover some passions that you have, like you said, etc. So
and we're giving life lessons now. What the
we
fuck?
are giving life lessons. Thank you so much
Okay,
for being here.
like,
I hope
subscribe.
this like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. I know a lot of people are watching, but they are not really commenting. Maybe you are shy. Just shout out to everybody who's watching us. Leave a comment, please. We would love to engage in conversations with you. This is what we do, this podcast. And we will see you next week. Hopefully the camera recorded everything. Peace out.
Peace out.
Let's cut it out.